And on that, let's shift our focus to another story that we're tracking very closely as far as the war in West Asia is concerned. In the latest, US President Donald Trump has signaled confidence about a possible end to the ongoing conflict, saying that the war could end very quickly. Donald Trump claimed that opposing side is eager for a deal, remarking that they want to make a deal so badly, alluding to the Iranian side as the talks continue behind the scene. The US president also predicted a sharp fall in the global oil prices, also stating that crude rates could come down because of the abundant supply in the market. According to Donald Trump, global oil availability remains quite high, and a diplomatic breakthrough between US and Iran as far as the war is concerned, that could further ease the pressure on the energy market. So in the latest, US President Donald Trump has signaled confidence about a possible end to the ongoing war, saying that the war would end very quickly. All right, we have, in fact, a reaction coming in from Iranian side as well. But as far as US President Donald Trump is concerned, he has signaled a renewed confidence about the possible end to the ongoing conflict, saying that the war could end very quickly. He claimed that the opposing side, that is Iranian side, is very eager for a deal, also mentioning that they want to make a deal badly. And this comes at a time when there is a ceasefire in place and also back-channel talks are also underway. Have a look at what Trump said.
And now we're blowing it away. We're blowing everything away, and we're going to end that war very quickly. They want to make a deal so badly. They're tired of this. Should have happened for 47 years. Somebody should have done something about it, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen fast. And you're going to see oil prices plummet. They're going to come down. There's so much oil out there. They're going to come plummeting down.
Let me get you more perspective and go across to my colleague Mayank, who's been tracking all the details as far as the war in West Asia is concerned. Mayank, how do we read into this? Because on one hand, US President Donald Trump has said that the war could end very quickly. On the other side, you have the Vice President of the United States saying that Trump has locked and loaded and there could be a renewed military strikes on Iran. How do we read at and look at the different statements coming in from the US President and also the Vice President?
Akansha, the highlight of this war, which is between, and specifically the Epic Fury operations, Operation Epic Fury, has been that the two sides, which is Iran and US in this case, not only were negotiating or they were indirect exchange of proposals, there had been continuous tirade of words, which was often said that, let's say, US had been talking about bombing Iran to the Stone Age. And here, Iran was often talking about launching operations or taking the cost to such an extent that it would be unbearable for US. And these words have been continuously coming out from both sides. And this is the same. This is how I view. But then this doesn't mean that the two sides are not negotiating or talking about the mitigation, or in a way they are talking about the middle points on which they can agree. Here, for the viewers' sake, important point is that the disagreement specifically largely is on the nuclear aspect. Right from the beginning, the aim of the goal has been, apart from changing the regime, has been that Iran's capability to acquire nuclear weapons or assemble nuclear weapons should be hurt in such a way that it never is able to assemble a nuclear weapon. This has been the main goal. But then, having said that, there already lies almost 440 kg of enriched uranium, which is with Iran. And the talks are about that also, that how will it be secured. So what you see, and then came the Strait of Hormuz, the issue of Strait of Hormuz. Here, when you talk of oil or fuel energy or national security for larger nations, it is that aspect. So it has got entangled with that same goal of nuclear discussion. Here we see what President Trump is trying to bring out is that the situations will ease out, but then they are ready to take on Iran further to launch hard military operations, is just to push Iran to agree the kind of agreements, and they agree quickly. But then the kind of a repartee, the kind of a war of words is going on. Iran has also been reacting to it in very strong words.
And with that, we have another breaking update coming in. A statement that is coming from Iranian Foreign Minister. He has claimed that the United States lost dozens of aircraft during the conflict with Iran, citing a report that details the major losses. Iran has said that the losses include advanced aircraft and drones worth billions of dollars. In fact, Iran has also claimed that F-35 fighter jet was shot down for the first time during the conflict, a claim that has not been officially confirmed by the United States till now. But Iranian Foreign Minister there warning that any future war with Iran could bring more surprises, and said that Iran has drawn a key lesson from this conflict. Let me take you through what the Iranian Foreign Minister has posted on social media regarding this, going on to claim that months after initiation of the war on Iran, US Congress acknowledges loss of dozens of aircraft worth billions. So he's quoting and citing a congressional report there. Our powerful armed forces are confirmed as first to strike down a touted F-35 fighter jet. With lessons learned and knowledge we gained, return to war will feature many more surprises. So Iran there threatening US once again of many more surprises if the war was to continue. Going on to say return to the war will feature many more surprises. Also mentioning that after initiation of the war on Iran, US Congress, now they are citing a report right here, acknowledges the loss of dozens of aircraft worth billions of dollars. In fact, they have also mentioned that their F-35 has been struck down by Iran, something that US has refuted again and again. Let me once again go back to my colleague Mayank on this. Mayank, as we all just heard, the statement that is coming from the Iranian Foreign Minister, he has warned of many more surprises if the conflict resumes. Give us more details on this.
See, as far as war is concerned, it is pegged around 2.3 to 2.8 billion. That is how independent assessments have been. And the profile of the aircraft includes MQ-9 Reapers, which are actually armed drones. I mean, larger, complicated and very important drones. Airborne early warning systems had been there, which are eye in the sky. And F-15 specifically, it all started with F-15s, which were hit in friendly fire. I mean, when own countries or own, own armies, militaries, they hit their own aircraft. That is friendly fire. So having said that, let me remind our viewers, because Times Now had been continuously talking about this aspect, and we had been covering the war from ground from Israel. There had been talks before we left Israel that Iran might have, because assessments takes place from every side. No side is seen weaker in cases of war. And Iran is also not seen weaker, because that's how the plans are made during attack plans and operation plans are made. So one of the discussions had been before we left from Israel was that Iran might be saving certain missiles or radars or weaponry which it might use when it is pushed to the wall, which is like when it sees that everything will be lost, then it can use those such kind of weaponry. So having said that, these assessments are already made, or every military makes such assessments. So whatever Iranian statement Iran is making, we can understand from that perspective. But it doesn't mean that US military or Israel military have not got certain sophisticated or very high-end weaponry. It doesn't mean. So this can also be seen as a war of words, or positioning themselves in such a way that the other side agrees to the kind of proposals which have been made. I mean, this is the kind of approach which is followed in such sensitive, important, high-cost negotiations and discussions.